The scoreboard operator does a double take, checks the name, checks the age, checks the score again. This can't be right. A 15-year-old kid just shot a number that puts him ahead of players who've been professionals for decades. Players with tour cards, players with sponsors, players with mortgages and families, and they're all getting beaten by someone who can't even drive a car yet. The tournament officials verify the scorecard 3 times because what they're seeing shouldn't be possible. Miles Russell has just done something that will force professional golf to rewrite its rulebook. This is that story. Asterisk. Before we break down exactly how a 15-year-old demolished professional competition, smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, because what Miles Russell is doing to professional golf is just the beginning of a revolution that will change the sport forever. Asterisk, asterisk, January 20. The Korn Ferry Tour, one step below the PGA Tour, where professionals grind to earn their cards and their livelihoods. This isn't recreational golf. This isn't a celebrity pro-am. This is where careers are made and broken, where players in their 20s and 30s battle for the few spots that will change their lives. And into this arena walks Miles Russell, a high school sophomore from Florida who still has braces and a curfew. Let's be crystal clear about what we're discussing. The Korn Ferry Tour is professional golf at an extremely high level. The average player has spent 10 to 15 years perfecting their craft. They've survived Q School, mini tours, Monday qualifiers, and countless setbacks. They've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars in coaching, equipment, and tournament entries. They've sacrificed relationships, financial security, and normal careers for a chance to compete. And now they're being told a 15-year-old with a sponsor's exemption will be in their field. The backlash is immediate and brutal. Golf forums explode with criticism. This is disrespectful to professionals who've earned their spots. He's taking an opportunity from someone who needs it. This is a publicity stunt that cheapens the tour. Social media is merciless. Players who've been grinding for years see a kid getting a free pass to their workplace, and they're not happy about it. The pressure on Miles isn't just to play well, it's to justify his very presence. But here's what the critics don't know. Miles Russell isn't some rich kid whose parents bought him an exemption. He's a legitimate, certified golf prodigy who's been destroying junior competition so thoroughly that tournament directors ran out of age-appropriate challenges for him. At 13, he was winning events against 17 and 18-year-olds. At 14, he shot 59 in a competitive round. 59, a score that most touring professionals never achieve in their entire careers. Miles Russell didn't get this exemption because of who he knows. He got it because of what he can do. Tournament week arrives. The media circus comes with it. Local news crews, national golf reporters, social media influencers, hoping to catch the moment when the kid crashes and burns. The narrative is already written in most people's minds. Talented junior plays over his head, struggles against professional competition, learns a valuable lesson about patience and development. It's a heartwarming story of ambition meeting reality. Except that's not what happens. Monday, practice round. And Miles is paired with 3 Korn Ferry Tour veterans for an unofficial match. No cameras, no spectators. Just 4 guys playing golf. By the 3rd hole, the veterans realize something unsettling. This kid can actually play. His drives are carrying 290 yards. His iron play is precise and controlled. His short game is professional quality. And his demeanor is calm, focused, almost eerily mature. After the round, one of the veterans tells a reporter, "That's not a kid. That's a golfer who happens to be 15. Tuesday brings the Pro-Am, where amateurs pay to play with professionals. Miles is paired with a local business executive who's played golf for 30 years. On the first tee, the amateur makes a joke about going easy on the youngster. By the 9th hole, the amateur has stopped joking. Miles is 3 under par, hitting shots that make the amateur a decent player himself. Realize he's witnessing something extraordinary. Word spreads through the clubhouse. The kid is for real. Wednesday night, Miles sits in his hotel room with his parents. And they have the conversation that every young athlete faces when reality hits. Tomorrow isn't about winning. It's about competing. Show them you belong. Show them this wasn't a mistake. Miles nods, but inside his goals are different. He's not here to participate. He's here to prove that age is just a number and talent is talent, regardless of birth certificate. Thursday morning, first round, professional tournament golf. Miles stands on the first tee, and the starter announces his name, hometown, and age. That last detail, 15 years old, causes murmurs in the gallery. Some fans are rooting for him. Others are waiting for the inevitable collapse. The opening tee shot needs to be solid. Not great, just solid. Don't give the critics ammunition on the very first swing. Miles steps up and absolutely crushes it. 300 yards, dead center of the fairway. The murmurs stop. That wasn't a kid's swing. That was a professional golf shot executed with the kind of speed and precision that takes most players decades to develop. His playing partners, both seasoned Korn Ferry Tour professionals, exchange glances. This is going to be interesting. Asterisk, asterisk. The first real test comes on the third hole of par 3, over water to a tucked pin. Most rookies in this situation play safe. Aim for the middle of the green. Avoid disaster. Miles pulls an 8-iron and goes straight at the flag. The ball lands 12 feet from the cup. He makes the putt for birdie. 1 under par through 3 holes. The professionals in his group are now 1 over and even par respectively. Miles Russell is leading his group, and they're not happy about it. By the turn, Miles is 2 under par, and something remarkable is happening across the course. Word is spreading. Players finishing their rounds are checking the leaderboard and doing double takes. Is that the 15-year-old? He's actually contending? What's his score? The narrative is shifting in real time from let's see how bad this goes to holy crap, he's actually doing it. The back nine is where professional golf separates pretenders from contenders. The pins get trickier. The pressure multiplies. The body starts feeling the strain. This is where 15-year-olds are supposed to hit a wall, physically, mentally, emotionally. Miles reaches the 10th tee, 2 under par, and faces the moment that will define his round. Does he protect the score and play conservatively? Or does he stay aggressive and risk giving shots back? His answer comes on the 12th hole, a reachable par 5. Most players in his position would lay up, take their birdie, and move on. Miles pulls out a 3-wood from 240 yards and goes for the green. The shot is pure lands on the putting surface, rolls to 25 feet. 2-putt birdie, 3 under par. He's not protecting anything. He's going for the throat. The 14th hole brings the first moment of adversity. A pulled drive finds the rough. The lie is terrible. Par seems like a victory from here, but Miles doesn't panic. He assesses the situation with the calm of a 20-year veteran, selects the right club, and executes a recovery shot that finds the green. 2 putts later, he saves par. That a pan down might be more impressive than the birdies because it shows mental toughness that can't be taught. By the time Miles reaches the 18th tee, he's 3 under par for the day with 1 hole to play. The gallery has tripled in size as word spread that a 15-year-old is shooting a legitimate professional score. The 18th hole is a demanding par, for that requires precision off the tee and a strong approach. Miles stripes his drive, finds the fairway, and then hits an approach shot to 15 feet. The birdie putt slides past, but he taps in for par. 68. 3 under par. In his professional debut, as a 15-year-old, the immediate aftermath is chaos. Media members sprint to the scoring area. Tournament officials are fielding calls from national news outlets. Social media explodes. Because this isn't just a good round for a 15-year-old. This is a legitimately excellent professional score. Period, Miles. Russell has just shot a number that has him in the top 20 on the leaderboard after day 1, ahead of players with years of professional experience. But here's where it gets truly impossible. Miles isn't tired, isn't overwhelmed, isn't satisfied. When asked about his round, he says, "I left some shots out there. I can play better tomorrow." That answer, that mentality, shocks everyone listening. Most 15-year-olds shooting 68 in a professional event would be ecstatic. Miles sees it as a starting point. That's not youth and inexperience talking. That's a champion's mindset. Friday's second round brings magnified pressure. Now Miles isn't a curiosity. He's a legitimate contender who needs to back up Thursday's performance. The cut line looms. Make it, and he becomes the youngest player to make a Korn Ferry Tour cut in history. Miss it, and critics will claim Thursday was a fluke. The pressure would break most 15-year-olds. Miles shoots another 60-8. Let that sink in. Back-to-back 68s in a professional tournament. Miles Russell isn't just surviving. He makes the cut comfortably, and in the process becomes the youngest player in Korn Ferry Tour history to make a cut. But the scores tell an even more impressive story. Miles is beating players who are 25, 30, 35 years old. Players with college golf experience, mini-tour wins, and years of professional competition. And he's doing it consistently. It's not through luck or one hot round. The weekend rounds bring a slight regression. Miles shoots 71 and 72. Still solid professional scores, but not the fireworks of Thursday and Friday. Some critics point to this as evidence that he's still just a kid who got hot. But they're missing the bigger picture. Miles Russell just completed 4 rounds of professional golf, made the cut, and finished in the top 50 of a Korn Ferry Tour event. At 15 years old, with 0 professional experience, the statistical breakdown is even more remarkable. Miles ranked in the top 40 in driving distance for the week, hitting it past players 10 years older. He was top 30 in greens and regulation, finding targets with precision that takes most players years to develop. His putting was solid, his course management was advanced, and his composure was unshakable. These aren't good for his age statistics. These are legitimately good professional golf statistics. But the question everyone's asking is, how? How does a 15-year-old compete with and beat professional golfers? The answer is complex and multifaceted. First, there's raw talent. Miles has it in abundance. His swing is mechanically sound, his touch around the greens is exceptional, and his distance is legitimate. But talent alone doesn't explain this performance. The second factor is modern training methodology. Miles has access to technology and coaching that didn't exist 20 years ago. Launch monitors that measure every aspect of his swing, biomechanical analysis that optimizes his movement patterns, mental coaching that prepares him for pressure, physical training designed by professionals who understand the demands of championship golf. Miles has essentially had professional-level resources since he was 12 years old. The third factor is mentality. Miles grew up in an era where young athletes achieving at high levels is normalized. He's watched teenagers dominate in tennis, skateboarding, gymnastics, and other sports. He doesn't have the mental block that says, "I'm too young for this." Genuinely believes he belongs. And that belief translates into performance. But perhaps the most important factor is something nobody can teach or replicate. Miles Russell simply doesn't feel pressure the way most people do. In post-round interviews, sports psychologists analyze his demeanor and note something remarkable. He shows no physical signs of stress, no fidgeting, no nervous laughter, no deflection. He answers questions thoughtfully, accepts praise humbly, and discusses his golf with the analytical mindset of a veteran professional. The impact of Miles' performance ripples through professional golf immediately. Tournament directors start discussing whether more young players should receive exemptions. College coaches realize that elite juniors might skip college entirely. Equipment companies start evaluating whether they should sign players younger than ever before. And players on the Korn Ferry Tour have to grapple with the uncomfortable reality that age barriers in golf, which might be crumbling faster than anyone expected. Other professional tours take notice. The PGA Tour releases a statement acknowledging Miles' achievement. European Tour officials discuss whether similar opportunities should be created. Asian tours start evaluating their own young talent. Miles Russell's impossible performance started a global conversation about when elite young players should be allowed to compete professionally. But let's address the elephant in the room: the critics. There are plenty of them. Some argue that letting 15-year-olds compete professionally is exploitative. Others claim it creates unfair advantages for wealthy families who can afford elite training. Some believe it puts too much pressure on kids who should be focused on school and childhood. These are legitimate concerns that deserve serious consideration. However, Miles' performance makes one thing undeniable. He competed fairly and succeeded on merit. He didn't get special treatment on the course. He played by the same rules as everyone else. He hit from the same tees, putted on the same greens, and faced the same challenges. And he beat professionals fair and square. Whatever we think about young players competing professionally, we can't deny that Miles Russell proved he belongs. The broader question is what this means for golf's future. If a 15-year-old can compete with professionals, does that mean the development pathway needs to change? Should elite juniors spend less time in junior tournaments and more time facing professional competition? Should age restrictions be lowered across the board? Or should Miles be viewed as an exceptional outlier rather than a template for future development? These questions don't have easy answers, but Miles Russell has forced the golf world to ask them. His impossible performance beating professional golfers at 15 years old has challenged assumptions about talent development, age requirements, and what's possible in professional sports. The story concludes not with Miles declaring victory and moving on, but with a simple statement he makes after the tournament: "I'm going back to high school on Monday. I've got a history test on Tuesday." The quote, more than anything else, captures the surreal nature of what just happened. A kid who just competed professionally against grown men has to go back to algebra class and worry about his GPA. Miles Russell beat professional golfers at 15 years old not through luck, not through special treatment, and not through lowered standards. He did it through talent, preparation, mental toughness, and an unwavering belief that age is just a number. He proved that in golf, at least, the impossible is becoming possible at younger and younger ages. And he did it while reminding us all that even the most extraordinary athletes are still, in many ways, just kids trying to figure out their place in the world.